Hey viewers, my name's Cara, they, them, she, her, other information in the description. I just woke up, haven't done anything to my hair, put on a sweater, came out here, made my tea, got some toast, toaster's still on the counter. We're just here in my mom's kitchen. I thought I would do a vlog just from here. Hold on, this tea is very full. Okay, just to have it be a little conversational, say hi. Happy Leap Day. I'm recording this on February 29th, although it's already not February 29th other places in the world. And that is one of the things that, for me, becomes a big mental sticking point, which is partly what I'm here to talk about, what I've been up to, content creation, schedule, not really a schedule, as many of you know, but like all of that. Thoughts around that. So for example, I have a personal goal of trying to get a public channel that is here, video posted at least once a month, because I'm doing so many other things, but also even when I'm not doing other things, my executive dysfunction, anxiety, depression, insomnia, all of those other things really combine to make it difficult for me to get things done in what I might think of as a timely manner. So I have posted a couple of videos throughout the past year. Was it just in the last year or was it earlier? I don't even know. But I've posted a couple videos about consistency and talking about how I'm learning to see consistency differently for myself. That like consistency doesn't have to look like doing something every single day or doing something every single week the way that many other creators might be doing it. Consistency can mean once a month, or it can mean that you do something once a season, or like this is a thing that I do every year consistently, right? Like consistency doesn't happen on a specific schedule. It's about a pattern over time. And so instead of trying to get myself to do something every week or even every other week, I sort of relaxed that. But now I still have this idea in my head that I want to be posting something once a month. And so if I'm really busy or distracted and or all of those other things during the month and I don't get things done, I end up here at the end of a calendar month scrambling. And I will tell you, I actually sat down here in this kitchen yesterday while I was making my dinner and tried to record a vlog, and it did not go well. And what I mean by that is I was already having really high anxiety yesterday about the fact that I hadn't done anything for this channel throughout the month. And it was this big fight with myself that like, I've gotten a lot done, and I want to talk about that too, that like I'm working on a lot of other things, other projects, teaching classes, coordinating with new people that I'm going to be facilitating and teaching with. I've been facilitating rituals. I've been facilitating book discussions. I've been doing a lot of stuff that's exciting to me, that's fun, that I like spending my time doing. And so it was a fight between like being happy about those things and being upset with myself that in the process, my personal work has been left aside. That, yeah, maybe I got a lot of that stuff done, but I haven't posted anything here. So my audience here doesn't know that. If you're in my Patreon community, I haven't even posted anything on the Patreon itself, but there is a Discord that is accessible only by being a member of my Patreon community right now. Considering maybe getting a second platform where people can support me that will also bring people into the Discord, so that people might have a couple of options for where to support, but will ultimately lead to that same community of support in the Discord. But anyway, that's an idea for the future. Right now, the only way to access it is by being a member of my Patreon. links in the description. And in the Discord, I have been posting. I post there a lot because I'm on it a lot. I moderate multiple other servers for both personal community and wider community. And yeah, so when I do have something to say or something cool to share, it's easiest for me to just pop it in there. So people who are part of my Patreon community have been hearing from me and have been able to talk with me and hear more about what's going on with me, but also share what's going on with you and share cool things that you're up to. And, you know, what games are we watching? What movies are we watching? What games are we watching? Well, that too. I watch people play games as well as more than I play them. But that's also a whole other story. I have a second channel for gaming. I was going to do a lot more with live streaming. I found out that live streaming cannot work from this location. The speeds are not good enough. But like I said, whole other topic. Don't want to get too far off on that. But that's why we're here having a conversation. This is just the way that my stream of consciousness works. So anyway, if you're not in those avenues, I haven't even posted anything on Instagram in a long time, except I did finally post something last night that I had made weeks ago and never got around to posting. So I did check off that little box on my to-do list last night just to feel like I had done something, because after I tried to do that vlog yesterday, I was so overwhelmed and so anxious already that trying to record that video didn't go well because I ended up having an anxiety attack by the end of it. So I actually think it's still on my phone. I don't think I deleted the file yet, but that's not something that I can use. You know, I mean, I could, but that's a very different thing. So I feel pretty good today, so I thought I would do it now and kind of try again. And yeah. So unless you're in the Patreon community, etc., if you're just here, or if you follow my general, you know, whatever, you would not have seen anything from me on Instagram in a while. You would not have seen anything on here from me in a while because I haven't posted anything publicly. So it's this fight over like, yeah, I'm getting a lot of stuff done, but I'm not getting that stuff done. And so the things that are not getting done are still kind of eating away at me. And there's a lot of other things that I have on my to-do list that are ideas of things that I might want to try, fun things that I want to do. I have several videos that are already recorded that just need edited, and I haven't had time / energy / space / quiet, all of these things. I haven't been able to get very much editing done. I'm still working on editing a project from months and months ago at this point that is just taking so long because I needed to do extra things to it that I didn't anticipate. And now it's been months and months, right? So my brain is like, should I even bother with this? Like, it's been so long. So there's a lot of things that go on with me and my content creation. And I've also posted a video about that before, like that creating the content is one thing. Getting to the point of sharing it is another. I've recorded several videos that none of my audiences have ever seen because either I scrap them immediately or they're waiting in a folder to be edited, but I just don't have the time to get to them, or something else has a deadline that's coming up first, so I have to focus on something else first, whatever the case may be. Or sometimes I get through it all and I edit it, or it's a video that doesn't need editing, but for whatever reason, I can't bring myself, and this is where the executive dysfunction bit comes in, and a little bit of the anxiety and how that compounds that. I can't bring myself to actually upload it. Then there's a whole other set of things in my head about like, what if this, what if that? And it's just it's a whole thing. And so I find myself here at the end of February once again beating myself up for not having done a video yet. And I have multiple that I meant to post this month that need edited and I haven't gotten to edit them. So yesterday, it was a matter of being like, okay, do I sit myself down and try to edit this entire video so that I can post it right away so that this can be the video? Or do I recognize that's probably going to take too long and sit down and try to do a vlog that I can just direct upload, no editing? And ultimately, I decided that it would be quicker and easier to try to just do a vlog, which, as I mentioned, did not go well yesterday. So we're doing it again. And I came up with an idea of something that I would like to try that felt kind of leap day-ish. I don't know. I was like, February 29th only comes around once every 4 years. It would be kind of cool to have like something to make a video about that's just for that has something to do with that. So what I came up with is I'm going to pull a few cards to represent the time between now and the next leap day. So like I said, it's already not leap day anymore in many areas of the world. And oh yeah, going way back around to what I said at the start, that's a thing that sticks in my brain a lot because I'm like, I want to do something by the end of the month, but then if I wait until like the last day of the month, even though this might be uploaded February 29th in my time zone, I have a lot of friends all over the world. I do a lot of work online with people in all different time zones, in all different countries, different hemispheres, all of that. So I'm very cognizant of the general like time range that it is for other people. So like I know it's not February 29th in Australia. It's already March. So from the perspective of those time zones, like far enough away from mine, I've already not posted a video at all in February. And that is a double-edged blade in a way, because on the one hand, it makes me feel like the deadline is actually sooner. Like if I want it to be at the end of February in all time zones, I can't wait till the last day, which is why I tried to do it yesterday and it didn't work. And the other side of that is when I can allow myself to have some space and grace, because I'm rushing to get this thing done at the end of February, but then I go, but it's already March in Australia. It's already March for a handful of my friends and people that I connect with on the internet. And many other people who I don't personally connect with, who I just don't know, right? So it can be something that allows me to give myself some space and grace, but it can also be something that makes me feel even more rushed. Just how my brain is, I don't know. So the deck that I want to use today is, excuse me, I feel like I'm going to sneeze, so let me pause. Whew, okay, I know pausing for the sneeze is not natural, like we're just sitting here having a cup of tea, but I didn't want you to have to deal with that. But we will deal with the pauses for me sipping my tea. So the deck that I want to use today, that I felt called to use today, the deck that I felt called to use today is the Spacious Tarot, which is an indie deck that this is the first edition of. I have a card that has a typo on it. I think that's really cool. And it's by Carrie Mallon and Annie Wright. I don't know if I'm saying Annie's last name correctly. I keep meaning to ask them. In fact, I probably did ask them at one point. I think I probably messaged them. And I'm sorry, Annie, I just don't remember. But it's R-U-Y-G-T. I'm not sure if it's pronounced like the word right or if you pronounce the G a little bit. So I usually say right. I don't know if you could tell. And Carrie Mallon. Carrie wrote the book. Annie did the art. Both are incredible. And when I'm reading this deck for myself, I often do read what Carrie wrote in the book, because the things that she writes are just so good for me. But since I'm doing this as a reading, like for everybody for the video, I'm not going to be reading out of the book. But we'll see how we go. So leap day only happens once every 4 calendar years. That's a system that we've come up with our lovely human-made calendar that we've all just collectively, or people in the past collectively agreed would be a thing, and we're still going with it. And so I thought about doing a card for each of the next 4 years ending with the next leap year, but then I thought, it's the end of February. We're still pretty much at the beginning of 2024. So let's pull a card for 2024. So we're going to do 4 cards, but it's going to be for the rest of this year. And then for 2025, 2026, and 2027. And then, of course, 2028 would be the next leap year. But we're just going to do the 4. It's so weird to even think about a year 4 years from now. That's not a way that my brain works. I don't really plan that far ahead. It's hard to. I can sometimes do maybe a year in advance, like if there's an annual event and I know I'm going to attend it that year. Or sometimes I can do things like that 2 years in advance. Like, well, I can't do it next year, but I'll plan to do it the year after that. But other than like annual events that I already know happen and when I have to do them, okay, my shuffling is starting to get haphazard, so I think it's time to be done shuffling and cut the deck. Other than things like that, I don't really plan like 3 and 4 years ahead, so this is kind of just for fun. We'll see. So, our card for the rest of 2024, you're seeing it before me. Oh, I get this card a lot. I love this card. Love the artwork, as I said. I actually pulled this card one time and set it down on a table that had a lot of scratches on it, and the outline, or the line of the mountain, actually lined up with a scratch on the table. It was a very synchronistic moment. So the 8 of Cups, I'll wait until I see them all to do a, well, let's see. I also want to challenge myself to not take forever elaborating on all the different things that these cards mean. So I want to challenge myself, again, for Leap Day theme, to come up with something to say about them that is only 4 words. So I think I'm going to wait till the end till I see them all to do that. But our first one is 8 of Cups, which is a card that I get a lot from this deck. So that's for the rest of 2024. For 2025, ooh, is that the 9? Yeah, 9 of Wands, which is very pretty. This card is a little more of a pip style card, less illustration, but we still have some visualization going on here. The Rose. 2026, oh, 10 of Swords, bunch of swords stabbing into the trunk of a tree that has been cut down. And 2027, 9 of Cups. The Wish card. We have a dandelion, upon which many people make wishes. That's a lovely one to end on. Okay, so now, to challenge myself to come up with something that's only 4 words for each of these, and I'll show them to you again, but I want to look at them. I don't have multiple camera angles. I'm going to think about this for a minute, so take some time to yourself. Think about your plans for the rest of this year, if you have any specifically. Okay. Eight of Cups. The message that's coming to me for the 8 of Cups for the rest of this year, that is only 4 words, is leave it all behind. And that might just be for me, but the intention is for them to be helpful to everybody, and so by virtue of that, it is going to be super general because I don't know who's going to be watching this video and receiving these messages. So take what you will from it. If it works, use it. Leave it all behind. 8 of Cups. And I'll keep holding this one up so you can see it and look at it and ponder it while I think about the next one. Okay, well that one came quickly. I'm just like tuning in and asking it for a forward message. So 2025, 9 of Wands, I got guard what matters most. Guard what matters most in 2025. I'm going to look ahead to the next one. Okay, this next one like wants to be more words. There is a 4-word version. It's 10 of Swords again for 2026. It wants to have a couple more words, but the challenge is to put it in 4 words. So it's coming out as, this is not it. And I know what the rest of the words that it wants to say are, which I feel like gives a little more context to what that means. But the challenge is to make it 4 words, so I'm gonna leave it up to your interpretation. Maybe that's on purpose, because maybe for me that means one thing, but for somebody else listening, it might actually have a slightly different meaning because of the words that are left out or the words that are not used. This is not it for 2026. 10 of Swords. And for 2027, oh wait, I didn't actually like stop and get my message from it yet. Let's just do it here. You can look at it too. From the 9 of Cups for 2027, 4 words. And what I'm doing is just kind of breathing and dropping my attention into my center and asking the archetype of this card and asking the universe for the message that comes from this. Okay. Again, I kind of want to give more context and more interpretation to it, but that's why we're doing a challenge, so that I don't do that. The message that is coming for this one is, what a beautiful life. And that doesn't feel like an answer to a question or anything. That's literally just a message from this card for the year 2027. And it's few years in the future, so like I have no idea what that'll be referring to when we get there, when I get there, but it feels appropriate for this card. This is a very happy, this is a very positive card. What a beautiful life. So maybe I will take a picture of these and write down the message and post that on my Patreon. I'll post it publicly on the Patreon, so you don't have to be a member to see it. But that way we'll have the imagery all together and the words, and I'll link it in the description so that you can see it that way. That feels good. So my phone's about to run out of space, and I did want to mention a couple of things. I briefly mentioned that I've been facilitating things, I've been teaching things. So yeah, I just wanted to say briefly, part of what has kept me so busy and excited, a little overwhelmed, is that I'm teaching a couple of classes within my tradition. I'm teaching a couple core classes, which are a thing. One at my regional witch camp later this year, and one that's actually for an online event that's coming up very soon. But the deadline for applying and finding a co-facilitator, because in Reclaiming Tradition, we always co-teach things, to find co-facilitators and meet with them to see if we were going to mesh well, if we felt that we could work together on these classes, and then beginning to actually plan and have a description so that we could submit it by the community meeting. All of these meetings that had to happen and deadlines, all of that was in February, even though the classes themselves are happening at different times and later in the year. So just a lot of that converged in February all at once, and it was very much a whirlwind of like, I just kind of put my name in, like, I'd be interested in teaching that class for the online thing, but I don't have a co-teacher. Let me know if somebody else wants to teach with me. And so I really didn't know if it was going to happen or not until all of a sudden it did. So it's been kind of a rush, both in excitement and in speed and like urgency to get things done in time for certain meetings and things. So that's primarily what I've been really busy with. And like I said, very excited about that. But I would also like to get back to offering some of my own classes online and, having things that can support me financially and also can give us time to do things together in more small group and more interactively, not just videos that are one way. And as a reminder, I will look at my comments eventually, but because of the anxiety and all of that, I don't usually look at them immediately, just in case that can be, a thing. And I try to wait until I'm in a good mental day to read my comments. So if I'm having a bad time, I'm not going to be looking at them for a while. So please don't take it personally if I don't read and respond to them in what we might think of as a timely fashion. I don't respond to everything, even if it's awesome. I just don't always have something to say, but I will look at them eventually, so don't feel like you can't leave them. But also, if you're going to be looking for a response right away, comment section's not the place for that. So I very much appreciate you watching this video. Like the video, that really helps, and subscribe to this channel if you're not already, and then you'll find out about things, especially if you click the notification bell. Then when I do haphazardly post things, because there is no predictable schedule, the easiest way to find out is to get notifications, and then you'll know, or at least have it in the subscription feed so it'll come up in your feed. But yeah, and if you're interested in joining the Patreon community, supporting me that way, and having a little bit more insight into what I'm doing, because I do share things with the Patreon folks first most of the time. Like if I do have things to talk about, I'm going to talk about it with those folks first, so they get the benefit of that. If you're interested in that, links in the description. You can check that out there. Many, many ideas and things that I would love to do in the future, and just who knows when I'm going to get them done. Who knows? We'll see. But thank you so much for watching and or listening to this video. I will see you next time. Until then, don't forget to be awesome, blessed be, and goodbye. And I will post the image with the messages from these 4 cards on the Patreon publicly, so you can see that, and the link will be in the description to that as well.